Hello everyone, today we will take a look at what happened in the world of finance and investing in 2023. 2023 was an exciting year. We have seen rapid rising of interest rates, Fed really tightened, then in the beginning of the year banks had some problems majorly because of this tightening policy. If that wasn't enough, we faced some geopolitical tensions between US and China, there is ongoing war in Ukraine, and new one starting in the Middle East between Israel and Palestine. However, US stock market finished the year higher, almost reaching new all-time highs. So what were the numbers? Which index performed the best and which factors contributed to the growth? All three big US indices finished the year on a high note. S&P 500 went up by 24%, Dow Jones by 14%, and Nasdaq soared by 46%. Technology was the main factor of growth, which led indices near all-time highs. Thanks to AI boom, Magnificent 7 managed to book double-digit growth. In fact, Magnificent 7 contributed to almost 60% of all S&P 500 gains. The best performer was newly crowned $1 trillion company Nvidia, which soared by 233%, followed by Meta with 188% and Tesla with 102%. On the other hand, defensive sectors like utilities, energy and consumer staples were one of the worst performers. Reason behind this poor performance was high inflation and higher interest rates. Investors were seeking opportunities in bonds which are safer and currently more profitable. Economy in 2023 was majorly affected by high inflation and growing interest rates. Higher borrowing costs affected whole economy. At the beginning of the year, Fed tightening caused some regional bank crises, as Silicon Valley Bank wasn't liquid enough to cover their bond losses. Luckily, some bigger banks were in better position and that helped them overcome these issues. But so far, economy is holding up very well, at least on the outside. Some data in 2023 show that economy is slowing down, but we didn't see a recession yet, and unemployment is still very low. If we take a look at the stock market, we could say that it had a fantastic year, which it was for technology stocks. But we can't say that stock market in 2023 reflected state of the economy. But nevertheless, stocks skyrocketed at the end of the year, which brought some nice returns for us investors. My portfolio showed some resilience in those turbulent times and finished the year with 15.85% gain. With lower risk score and 20% position in cash, it performed incredibly well. Best performers in my portfolio were Meta, Intel and Microsoft. And on the other hand, the worst performers in my portfolio were FMC, China ETF and Northrop Grumman. Let's see why they performed so well or so poorly. Meta had a fantastic year with their stock rising by 188%. There was lots of skepticism around their financial performance, but their CEO proved that he knows how to run a company. Their revenue grew by estimated 9% and their net income grew by estimated 28% in 2023. I started building my position in Meta in April 2022 and I kept buying until it dropped below 100 level. To be honest with you, it was quite hard for me to ignore all this bad noise and hate going towards the company. I often thought that I made a mistake. But patience paid off and now I'm sitting on very nice profit with Meta. In my opinion, Meta is now trading above their intrinsic value and I'm planning to reduce my position but not to sell it altogether. I still think Meta is a great company and I'm happy that I'm invested. However, knowing when to sell is just as important as knowing when to buy. Another great company which was facing or is facing tough times is Intel. Their stock price was beaten to multi-year lows at the beginning of the year and was trading at levels of $25. The sentiment around the stock is still very bad, but their performance was quite solid in 2023. Intel rose by 85% in 2023 and it's now trading at levels of high 40s. Their problem started when they fell behind producing chips compared to Taiwan Semiconductor Company. On the other hand, supply chain issues and tough macroeconomic conditions put more pressure on Intel and their margins. However, investors are sensing some positivity about their turnaround. Intel is now focusing more on their foundry business. They're planning $25 billion expansion of their manufacturing plant in Israel. This is not reflected on their revenue yet, but we will see what 2024 brings for Intel. Third best performer in my portfolio was Microsoft. Their stock price rose by 55% in 2023. In October, they finally closed acquisition of Activision Blizzard, which was also in my portfolio. The deal was hot topic for a while, as regulators were worried about the harm it could do to competition in cloud gaming. Thanks to their involvement in AI projects such as ChatGPT, they have strong competitive advantage, which was reflected in their growth in 2023. Microsoft makes up less than 2% of my portfolio, and for now I'm planning to keep my position as it is. So what about the worst performers? Don't worry, I didn't forget about them. Northrop Grumman is one of the largest defense technology companies, and their stock went down 14% in 2023. After rising 41% in 2022, it went in correction mode for first 9 months of 2023. After conflicts in the Middle East started, Northrop gained some momentum again, but still ended up negative at the end of the year. On the other side of the world, things aren't great either. China ETF, which tracks Chinese equities, was down 18%. Chinese economy was expected to bounce quickly in 2023, but at the end it was one of the worst performers among global markets. They were facing a number of different issues, like property crisis, lower spending, and unemployment. Government is trying to boost the economy, but some challenges might be deeper and take more time to fix. I remain positive about China on the long run, but I'm also expecting that it will take years till my investment will pay off. For now, I'm planning to keep this position as it is. I'm not planning to invest in individual Chinese companies, but I'm comfortable with this ETF in my portfolio. The biggest loser of my portfolio last year was FMC. FMC is an agricultural science company that is specializing in crop production products. In 2022, FMC stock price soared as commodity prices used for their products spiked. However, 2023 was a very rough year for their investors. FMC stock dropped 50%. The reason behind it was drop in sales in Latin America, they sold less inventory, and they even lowered their future guidance. Management is currently cutting costs, and I'm planning to add more to this position. At the end of the year, my portfolio gained 15.85%. It underperformed SP 500 and Nasdaq, but it beat Dow Jones by 2%. The reason I lag behind SP 500 and Nasdaq is that I still have 20% in cash. That being said, my portfolio is less volatile, and most importantly, in case of correction, it will drop less than indices. With enormous growth of Magnificent 7, I wouldn't be surprised if we see correction, and that would be my time to buy. Investors is really important that they understand their attitude towards risk. I'm happy to see when my portfolio drops less than indices, even though it sometimes lags behind when they grow. So what about 2024? What can we expect? In 2024, we might already see some interest rate cuts. Fed and ECB indicated that we've seen the top and there won't be any more hikes. However, it's pretty much dependent on inflation and how the prices will behave in 2024. For now, inflation is under control, but it can change if commodity prices like oil and precious metals rise unexpectedly. In case of rising inflation, we could see corrections on the stock market. Some of the biggest companies are richly valued, and it would be healthy to see some pullback in near future. As no one can predict what will happen in the future, I will keep looking for undervalued companies on the market, and I will make sure to keep you updated about all of my choices. So how about you? How was 2023 for you? I wish you all the best in the following year and trade safe.